So we're gonna go through the same thing that we went through last election cycle. This whole notion of it's gonna take 10 days in Maricopa County, Arizona, for us to figure out who the president is absolutely ridiculous and repulsive. How do they, if they know this is gonna happen, why don't they correct it? They have 2 weeks to fix this. If you're if you're doing mail-in balloting and they receive the ballot uh, a day after the election, it doesn't count. I'm sorry to tell you, you've had all this time and you want to wait to the last minute so we can sit here and like, no, man, like I've had enough of this shit, dude. Like, I want this put to bed. I want this over with so I can focus on other things. Like, we're gonna sit here after the election twiddling our thumbs, like who won, because we have like irresponsible uh, uh, voter people that are running the show, whatever they're called, pollsters. I don't know. Um, they're running the show. Nothing has been corrected. Like, as far as I know, that nothing has been corrected from the last election. So we've had 4 years to correct and make a free, fair voting process, and we've done nothing. We've done something. Some states have actually tried to take off voters who aren't in their state anymore. Like me, I should be taken off of Washington State. I should be taken off of uh, Missouri. I should have been taken off when I left Michigan. Who knows if people have been voting in my name? Who knows when I go on election day to vote uh, that I haven't already casted a ballot because somebody's voted for me? Like, this is ridiculous, man. Like, we should be going on the day. This is what it should be. The voting day should be like Christmas. Everything is pretty much shut down. No one has to go to work. Uh, it's like Christmas. You can have some places open, but like small businesses or like a convenience store or something like that. But it should be like a national holiday. We all go vote. We all sit there and vote and get it done with. Find out that day, and that's it. Like, we're gonna sit here like, who won? Who won? Like a couple weeks later? Are you kidding me? I'm just tired of this, man. Like, the machine needs, like, I don't understand what the machine thinks. Like, okay, let's say the machine gains power again. Like, this is unsustainable, dude. Like, you're gonna have a revolt against you. If you don't allow Trump in there to do some soft reforms, we're gonna have hard reforms coming and a civil war because you people won't stop. Like, there's a lot of pissed off people who were voting for Trump who have maintained so much what is that, patience with you people, whether it's censoring us, whether it's gaslighting us, whether it's blatantly lying to us with the machine, with the mainstream media. I'm just tired of all this. I just want to I just want to go to work, provide a decent living for myself, be able to make enough money working a regular job. I work a regular job, and this job I have is basically the same as a fast food job. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I shouldn't be rich working my job, no, but I shouldn't feel like I'm on welfare. Dude, I feel like I'm living a life of welfare. I can afford to go to work and go home to maintain my bills. Um, it's crazy. It's crazy how much stress that has been putting on the working class. Like, if you don't have debt, man, you're working real hard, dude. You're working real hard, or you're living real minimalistically. Maybe you've made some really good choices, but like, most people have a lot of debt, man, and people can't do this. When they were when the globalists were talking about a reset, they're right. Like, probably we should have some type of reset. I don't know how we would do that, wiping everyone's debt away, but then this like you wipe all stuff will definitely start breaking, but everything's gonna start breaking anyway. You've already seen it a little bit. All this is being propped up by the Democrats, man, because they want to win this election. This is the most crucial election in history. They've been manipulating markets. They're not letting banks fail. Like banks, they absorb banks. Maybe they sold them off since they absorbed them, but like they're not letting them fall. So this is not a capitalist country, man. This is like I really don't care what the people on the right says. This is like such a socialist country. We're almost as socialist as China at this point. We might as well be communist. It's like when you have like 50 million Americans on welfare, like you have a major problem. That's a lot of people, dude. That's a good percentage of your population. That's a negative to the GDP, to the negative. Like they're not even like providing anything. And I'm not saying that all of them are aren't working, because I used to be on welfare for a second and I worked too. I just didn't make enough money to pay my bills. So like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, yeah, okay. Fast food, when I was doing it, it's a real job. Like, you get a 401k, but they don't provide you health insurance. They don't really provide you for much. So, like, you don't make enough to even survive. Like, I don't understand the whole notion with people on the right with, like, fast food. Like, it's not a real job, isn't it? Yeah, that's what it was meant to be in the 1950s. Well, this is not the 1950s. This is like 70 years later, and you see fast food chains everywhere. Like, this is a real job. Are you meant to be there forever? No. Should people make a living wage compared to where they live? At least almost. So, like, they're not, like, asking the government for help. Like, it kind of is so weird to me. Like, people, like, you want people to make your food who are basically homeless. You want these people making your food. It's so ridiculous to me, like the mindset of people, like the total incompetence, and then like they make you think that you're stupid or something. Like, it's like, dude, where's your logic, man? I shouldn't have to explain this shit to you. But yeah, man, this is what I'm saying. I'm not a person that agrees with everything on the right, man. And some things I might be wrong. I might be wrong about this. Like, okay, yeah, fast food people. These people are pieces of shit. They shouldn't make any fucking money. They should just, like, be rolling around in some filth and then roll up into work and serve me food. Like, they should be unhappy. They shouldn't be happy with their lives. Like, nobody likes fucking working fast food. Nobody likes doing these manual labor jobs. You think that people go into work, like building houses, whatever, man, whatever people are doing, like digging out the sewers, going to a power plant, maintaining everything? Do you think that people like do this for fun? People do it because they have to do it. Like, we don't like to do this shit. Like, there's plenty of other things that we would rather do than just like go to a place for like 8 hours a day and just do boring shit. Yeah, the funny thing too is, like, the society is so backwards, and it could be changing. It could be changing. I'm seeing like major changes in this reality for more independence in a lot of different ways. Like, for instance, basically, I have my own record company now. Like, it's so easy for anybody to have their own record company. You just have to pay some money. That's all. For instance, with my record company, I pay 90 bucks a year. So 90 bucks a year, and then I have like 5 artists I can have on there for 90 bucks a year. So every artist that I add on there, I have to pay more money now. But what I'm saying is, like, I actually have my own record company technically. It's not like your traditional record company where, usually like this is the big ones. So like I'm not too sure about the indie ones, but it's what from hearing about like Sub Pop and Nirvana and stuff like that, it seems like they were really strapped for cash. So like typically record companies will give you money so you can go make your album and whatever you got to do, and then they get their money back on the royalties of the sale of they're investing in you. That's what it's like, an investment. Um, I think that you might have to even pay some of that, but you pay it back regardless with the royalties, because they own the song. So like, if you come to my record company, you want me to publish your song for you, I own that song. So like, if when it comes down to money, so hypothetically right now, my record company is nothing. It's nothing. I'm a nobody. It's a nobody company. It's a joke. It's just a startup. It's not meant to go anywhere. It's just like, hey, I wrote a book. Hey, I have a record company. Hey, this and this. Hey, it's like, yeah, that's cool, man. Like, anybody can do that. Like, yeah, anybody could do it, but it still takes a little bit of work. It still takes a little bit of work to do it. Is it a lot easier than before? Yes. Is there more that goes into it when I start like bringing in uh, more and more people? Sure. We have to figure out the money situation and all that. Like, what's fair? And when the contracts come in, this is when the lawyers come in. Like, okay, how much percentage of the royalties do you want? So you could have something where like, man, I just want to be a part of your company, because like, it's almost like, okay, hypothetically, like, if my record company got big, it's not going to. Let's just say hypothetically it did. It got very popular, massive popular. And then people were like, listen, man, I don't want any money. I just want you to publish my stuff and be like, I'm part of this because it's so cool, it's so popular. Um, you can keep all the royalties, but like, what happens if like they start doing really good? They're gonna want some type of compensation for sure, and they should get it. They should get some type of compensation, a fair compensation for sure. But like, it's almost like they're my employee. So like, you can boost your status that way, right? Well, it's not like something that's like forever. It'd be like, yeah, you can come into my record company, but like, okay, like that, like, thank you for helping me get huge. But like, this next song, like this, like, we're gonna have to do something, because like right now I'm collecting all the royalties and the artist isn't getting anything. Um, but what did they gain? They gained a lot of status. So like, hypothetically, if I applied for right now, we're going through recession, and even Tim Pool's shows. I think that Tim Pool is like, I think that he wants things ran a certain way, but it's hard. He's like, right now he's having a child, so he wants. I think he's realizing like he doesn't need to work so much. He needs to actually work less, and in order for him to spend time with his family, he needs things to run as efficient as possible. So like, he shouldn't have to go do all the hardware work. Like, oh, something isn't working. Like, no, everything needs to work properly. Everything needs to be working properly so he can do his job. Because dude's rich, man. It's like, I would rather just go spend time with my family. And I don't understand how like it doesn't affect his creative process, like having to do all these business ventures himself. I would rather just have other people to deal with that. Like, if it was me, like, okay, hypothetically, if my record company was to get huge, I'm not gonna sit here and deal with all the financial crap. Like, I'm not gonna deal with it. It's too much. I'm against every individual thing. I'm going to delegate that to somebody else, and somebody else can get compensated in some type of way. And yeah, I think that like status, though, I think that people are going to be compensated in a status in the future. Well, I think that's going to be a part of it. I don't think it's going to be the whole thing, but I think it's going to be a part of it. Gaining status, gaining prominence, and it's going to be it's really hard right now. But like, that's what it's gonna motivate people. What's your purpose? Well, I want to gain status. I want to do something that people remember me. That's what it is right now. But people, I guess they're rewarded with money or whatever. But like, uh, in the future we're not gonna have to worry about money. Like money is gonna be in the physical realm, because it's like everybody should be taken care of to a certain level of physical realm. Um, people shouldn't be starving. People shouldn't be homeless. Everybody should be taken care of with their medical. Um, People shouldn't have to worry about all these bills and all this crap. It's such a it's a stressful thing. It served its purpose. It was needed at one point, but like, yeah, we need to go into an age of abundance, but we still have that in the digital realm, man. We can still have like currency, obviously, in the digital realm. We're gonna need it in the digital realm. So, yeah, this video is everywhere. What did I want to initially talk about? Oh, the election. Yeah, um, the election is so crazy that like, oh, now the funny thing is too, like Kamala's coming out calling Trump Hitler, basically. Like, here we go, man. Like, if that dude ends, like, seriously, they don't care. Like, it all almost was like she was told to come out and say this, and she just turned around and went back in. For like 3 minutes. It was absolutely pathetic. Oh, Trump is Hitler. Here we go with the Trump is Hitler. Trump is not Hitler. So this is what happened. If Kamala gets power and the machine maintains power, the next Hitler will rise. The next Hitler will rise here in America, because we're going through similar situations Germany went through. The difference between now and then is like, to stop a Hitler is social media, because like back then this is what Hitler did. Hitler would go from town to town and tell them whatever they wanted to hear. It didn't matter. He didn't care about his policy, nothing like that. Whatever these people wanted to hear, whether they were lies, blatant lies or whatever, he told them that. And back then, like, it was hard to get information. Not, you can still get information, I mean, but it was way harder than now, obviously, to get information and spread information. And they used a lot of that with propaganda when they got in charge. But before that, man, that's how he grew, because he just told them whatever they wanted to hear, man. So that type of Hitler isn't going to happen. But what the problem is people are going to end up gravitating towards the Hitler. Possibly people will start liking Nazis more. Like, honestly, because like, what happened is like, when you hate a certain population, when you hate a certain race, when you sit here and push them down, they're like, dude, I'm not going to be oppressed. I'm just not going to be oppressed, and I'm going to fight back. And the most rebellious thing I can do is be a Nazi. That's the most rebellious thing you can possibly do at this point, is be a Nazi, because Nazis are actually hated worse than like Satan. That's what it seems like in this society. Like, being a Nazi is like the worst thing ever. Being a Hitler supporter, you're a piece of crap. Even if like you was to point out, like, dude was a vegan, man. He was a vegan. He was a vegetarian. Aren't the people on the left vegetarians? You don't think that was a good thing? Well, like, pointing out like some things he did. He wasn't, everything he did was totally evil. No. Like, do I agree with what he did? Hell no. Do I agree with how he had power? Hell no. He was a liar. He used propaganda. He used fear. I don't like him. I don't like that person. So, and I listened to most of Mein Kampf. I haven't listened to like it was an audiobook, the last 2 hours, but like, that's something I should do, is finish it. But the whole thing is like, I'm not saying Hitler was an awesome person or nothing like that, but like, to say that Genghis Khan, everything he did was completely evil. Like, he didn't do anything good for anybody. Like, he might have done some, like, okay, Saddam Hussein, like, oh, he was such a horrible dictator. Well, some people, I'm sure, like, he was brutal to some people for sure, but other people, I think that like he probably boosted up their lives. Kim, same thing in North Korea. He's very brutal with people, very brutal. But like, some people, like, they're doing good off of them. Um, it's like, yeah, they're overall bad people, man. Stalin, all these dictators are bad people. But to just be like, oh, they're completely evil, and then I'm just gonna be ignorant, and I don't want to learn anything about it. I'm just gonna be like, oh, they're just bad, 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 and it's like, ugh. I understand the whole stigma. I get it. I'm not an advocate. I'm not. I'm against neo Nazis, man. Like, I remember one time. It was a story time. I remember one time these skinheads started like taking over one of my friend groups when I was like 19 or 20, and like I was hanging out with my friends, and all of a sudden they started like seeming more like neo-Nazi. Like I don't know, like some people came into the crew, and they started turning like that, and then I kind of just started avoiding these people. Like, I didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't like that. That's not how I was raised. I wasn't raised to be racist. I didn't care about skin color. I don't currently care about skin color. I wish that we can just like be humans, and it's so crazy that this society is so obsessed with race for whatever reason. But like, I don't sit here and just like, oh, I'm a white guy. I'm a white guy all the time. Like, it's whatever. Um, but the whole thing is like, oh, and then people will be like, oh, you're a Nazi because you're friends with them. It's just like, dude, maybe my influence went away pretty quick. That was like 2 weeks, but like like your influence is big, man. You can influence people and educate people. It's just to like okay, so what? Okay, this whole like firing people because they're racist. What are we gonna do with these people? They're just gonna be homeless? Are we gonna execute these people because they're racist? Like, what's the plan? Cancel them. Okay, what's the plan now? Like, what are you gonna do with these people? Like, I hate racism, man. I think it's stupid. Um, like, people who I just think it's such an old thing that we can evolve past as humans, and we can just like be peaceful, prosperous, and we can all like lift each other up. It is very possible if people just stop talking about race, stop like, I mean, if you have to describe somebody because somebody's on the loose, like, oh, a white man that's like 6 foot tall, like, yeah, okay, whatever, but like, it's like, it's not a big deal, Race isn't a big deal, man, as long as people just like are cool, like, like, it's basically having the same type of culture, but it's just, this whole thing of like, oh, you're friends with Nazis, like, dude, there's this one guy that he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's a black guy, and he started going to KKK rallies, and he started converting people. Like, isn't that awesome, man? Like, a lot of these people who are racist, they were taught that, and they are highly ignorant people. And people can change. I know it's hard for people to change, especially when they get to be older. Uh, I'm so far ahead of the game. It's unbelievable. Even though like I'm not a successful person, I'm so far ahead of the game. I'm so far ahead of my time. It's crazy how far ahead of my time. It's crazy. It's crazy how far ahead of my time I am. This is why I'm so bored with this life. I'm so bored. I'm not advocating for Hitler, man, and I want to make that clear. I'm just saying, like, you can't just look at everybody and paint a broad picture. Like, yes, what he did was absolutely despicable. Okay, yes, what Stalin did was absolutely despicable. Mao, whatever one. I think his name is Mao. Despicable. All those people starving, despicable. And I'm not for that at all. So I'm just saying, like, some ideas that these people came up with, some of them could be used because they're good ideas. So what you do is you take the bad thing, the stuff that's bad that hurts humans, and then you get rid of it. Like capitalism. Maybe we should do something where like, here's the thing about capital: you can't have like a completely unregulated capitalist system, because this is what happens is like people are exploited. Capitalism don't care about, it's like communism. It doesn't have morals. It doesn't have any of that. So just because what Elon's doing with him, he's trying to like innovate. He's trying to do things for the people, whether that's waste 44 billion on X like people are talking about. I think that it was a good investment, especially long term, if he can sustain it. And that's why he cut back the crew by 90% or whatever. But it's like, we can take the good and to get rid of the bad. So there could be good that's happened. That's what people like. People like capitalism. But I see what capitalism can happen in different sectors where there's a monopolization. You see companies cutting corners and screwing over the people who are actually doing all the work, like myself. For people who sit in an office all day, and like, seriously, if I had a company, I'm not going to pay you six figures. Why would I pay you six figures? I'm going to outsource your job to India or China, and we're going to handle that. They're going to do your job. And I'm going to have, you can work here, but you're going to be a manual labor. And there's going to be more money for the company. There's going to be more money for people at the bottom. The people at the bottom should be at the top of society. And that shows like how much good times we've been through. To have people at the top who don't really do anything, like, yeah, they got status, but what how do they keep society going forward? What do they do? Like, yeah, they provide entertainment, but there's so much entertainment out there that the average person is entertainment now. So you don't need these celebrities, and these celebrities are competing with people like me. Well, not necessarily me, because like I'm lower, but like, you know what I'm saying, like big star, like big people, for eyeballs. So these celebrities are taking hits. I think we're gonna go through a period of like complete rebellion against these people, like where we start like become an anti-celebrity, because look at what they're doing. Like, these celebrities are all voting against us. That's what they're basically doing. They're looking down on us from their ivory towers and being like, vote for Kamala and have more of the same. Here's some more inflation. Dude, we're not going to be able to stand. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what the system's thinking. Like, seriously, you're going to have people act out in rebellion, man. Like, I don't understand this. And then it's not going to be it's not going to be like it's going to be nasty, dude. It's going to be nasty. Like, I hope we don't go that way. I hope we don't go civil war. I want things. Listen, man, if you've committed crimes, get the hell out of the country, dude. Just leave now. Just go somewhere else. If you're in the government, just leave. Just leave. Okay? Because like, we're not going to keep this going. We're not. Just go to another country, take your money, go live, build a life somewhere else, man. So you don't have to go to prison. So you don't have to worry about like being tried for treason. Just get the hell out of here, man. Just go. Just get the hell out of here. Because people will rise up. I'm not advocating it. I'm not telling anybody to do it. You people think that like January 6th was such a huge thing. Like, they didn't even have guns. Imagine that. Way bigger, but everybody has guns. Imagine there's 1 million people there and everybody has guns. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? How many, like, yeah, you have the military, but you only have so many military people. Going against 1 million people? Yeah, this is going to be bad. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of people's lives gone. But like, it's going to be nasty. One of the most, is probably brutal. It could be up there with like the Civil War when it comes to bodies, man. This is like unsustainable, because like people, it's getting so hard for people. Like it's so like we're so apathetic, and we're losing like touch with humanity, like human touch. Like you don't even like nobody cares about anybody, and it's almost like I hate my job. I don't want to do this. I hate my life. It's horrible. Like okay, from my life is so predictable. Okay, here's my life. Bad stuff's gonna happen. It's not that hard. Bad stuff's gonna happen. Dumb stuff that shouldn't happen is gonna happen. That's my life. Okay, what's gonna happen to me at work today? I'm gonna get annoyed because I'm gonna get stuck to everything. Everything like every box I pick is gonna be like a struggle to get it out of there. It's like when it's like what like bad stuff happens to me. Test my patience continuously. Oh, that's life. That's life. Yeah, that's life. This is why I don't want to be a part of it no more. This is why I want to be in the Matrix full time, because life is boring. It's monotonous. It's boring. At this point, there's no prospects for me to, or like, I can get a woman. I could, but like I can't be myself, man. I can't be myself. So if I'm having a bad day and I don't want to talk to nobody, I can do that. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to be left alone. Why? That happens, man. Instead of I gotta pretend and I gotta be my plus game all the time. Like I'm not gonna do that. So, and then I have to feel like I have to dump myself down. And then you have the political aspect. You have like all this crap on top of it. It's just like, so. For me, it's like women don't seem interested in me anyway, so I feel like I'm washed up. I feel like a 90-year-old man. So you can tell when a woman's interested, and just in person, I don't see it at all. Some of them I got like the impression, but I'm like, dude, I'm at work. I'm not gonna. If you want to talk to me, you can come talk to me. Otherwise, whatever, man. Like. I'm not gonna approach you. I'm not gonna bug you. I'm not gonna harass you. I'm not even gonna look at you. So, it is what it is. But yeah, like I'm not. I don't feel like approaching any women. This is my thing is like they get so much attention anyway. Like who the hell am I? You know, like especially like in real life when they don't seem. Maybe I just don't. Maybe I'm intimidating. Maybe it's because like. I don't look like I'm the happy dude. I'm stoic, man. Like what the hell? What am I supposed to be like walking around with a smile on my face? Like hey, like I thought that women like stoic men, strong men. So that's how I walk around. Oh, that's too much. Yeah. Okay. So what is it? Am I supposed to be more feminine and be like, oh, I'm so happy all the time? Like, dude, nobody walks around like that. I wish I did. I wish I had that positive attitude all the time. But life is annoying, and just like when everything you do is, it's like roadblock. Hey, how come you don't start a business? Because I already know the way it's gonna end up. It's gonna end up me a huge financial loss. I'm not gonna do good, and since I have ADHD, like I have so many different interests, I can't just focus on one thing. I can't just focus on one business, and it's gonna fail. So what's the point? If I already know it's gonna fail, because I can't make myself work that hard just to focus like 90 hours a week on my business, and that's it. When I'm sitting here thinking about all this other stuff that interests me, like I'm not built like that. Not built like that. That's why I don't have a business. That's why I never started a business. I just don't want to deal with it. If I had a business, I'd have a couple employees and that would be it. I wouldn't have that many employees. I don't want to be in charge of that many people. I don't like being in charge of people. I'd rather people follow my lead with my example. But people, as far as I've seen in this life, nobody follows my influence. I don't really have influence on anything, whether it's social media, in real life. And it's always been like this. I've never had influence. I've always been the small dog. I'm always going to be the small dog. I'm never going to be like a big shot. Well, that would be so cool. Like, all these females that passed up on me, all of a sudden they're hitting me up in the DMs. That'd be so crazy. Like, my DMs are so bare, and then like all of a sudden it's just flooded. I would probably be like highly annoyed. I would probably be highly annoyed. I wouldn't even want to answer. I might answer a couple of them. Like, yeah, there's a couple that I would definitely answer, but for the most of them, they would just get ignored. Like, seriously, they just get ignored. Maybe one day I might say something kind of rude, but you know, maybe not. Who knows? Just depends on my mood. But yeah, it's so stupid. Like, this whole system we have, it needs to be like this should tell people right now, if we can't have elections that everybody can sit down and be like, dude, because whoever wins, the other side is just gonna be like, that's fake. That didn't have. They're not gonna trust the results. We have to have a uniform system when it comes to federal elections that every state has to abide by, because you're you're having people put in there that have a lot of influence on our federal government. So we have to make sure that in your state elections, when it comes to like county, all these little fucking job like judges, all that, like, yeah, you can do what you want, but like, you don't have to have IDs, whatever the fuck you want to do. But like, when it comes to like senators, House representatives, and the president, these people need to be same day voting. You can have absentees for a good reason, but we shouldn't have high mail-in voting. It should be that day, and we'll get the results, and that's it. Whether it's paper ballot, we go back to paper ballots, or we have some like blockchain technology that, you know, decentralized whatever, which probably will happen. We need to make sure that it has a lot of integrity. And currently, our process doesn't have. Well, how can it when you have the Biden administration, when we have states taking off illegals that shouldn't be on the registration, the voting registration? You have the Biden administration suing them to put them back on. Like, what? Like, you should want illegals off the ballots, but you're suing to put them back on because of your hard work of bringing these people over, giving them free stuff when it comes to hotel or a debit card with a bunch of money on it, ignoring people like me, taking money from people like me and doing this so you can create voters for yourselves because you're using the American money. Like, that should be criminal, dude. Like, you're human trafficking. You're using taxpayer money to rig an election. This is election interference right here, done by the Democrats. And then they say this, oh, what's your dude? When the Biden administration goes to Texas and removes some of their border wall because they want to let illegals in, you have states taking illegals off the ballots where they shouldn't be voting. They shouldn't even be here. And then you have the Biden administration suing to put them back on? Like, what? What are you doing? They're illegal, dude. They shouldn't be on there. No one... dude, we need a better system, man. We need this. I don't understand why it's such like a prehistoric. It seems like it's intentional to keep for this, so it can be rigged. That's what it seems like. We should want, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, you should want a free, fair election that's ran precisely like it's. We're in 2024, man. These elections should be running beautifully. Why is it seeming like there's all these problems all the time? Did they have these problems back in the day? I don't think that they did. Anyways, it's so stupid, man. I just want to get over this politics crap, but it doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere. We're going to keep with this politics crap. And hopefully Trump gets in there so we could have... We need his government reform, dude. I mean, we're going to get it one way or the other. So if, like, the machine retains power, the system's going to collapse, dude. It's going to collapse. People are going to revolt against you because you're the problem. You think that you're gonna like? I just don't understand the logic of the like. If they want to destroy the country, okay, but you're gonna have huge government reform, man. We're gonna have huge. It says in the Constitution, if what is it? I have it in my song. If the government isn't representing you, basically, you can. It's basically your duty to change or reform it. Okay. Um, and I hope it. I don't want it to be violent. I just want it to be a peaceful reform. We need to reform the government, because all these other countries hate us, man, because of our government, and they should. I even hate our government, and I'm an American citizen. I hate it, and I shouldn't. But yeah, that's it.